Now,
Still going. Oh,
are we gone?
gone.
Yay! Right, is everybody hear that now? That is weird. No idea what that one was about. Freaky. Spooky. There we go, guys. So, well, let's start again. Welcome, Mr. ImStallion. So, guys, big welcome and a big thank you for my first ever podcast, and to be honoured for you to do it as well, which is pretty dope, to say the least. Without further ado, I thought firstly what I wanted to do is just explain how I came across you. Thanks for the follow, T8. Mainly, I was in a Discord group, and you did a podcast with one of the guys in the Discord group, and that was how I came across yourself. And it was awesome. Just to kind of like, it was the first time I'd ever seen it, so I got to learn a little bit about another streamer, and I thought it was a really cool thing. And I think it was quite cool because it was easy to connect to you. And it was easy to understand what you were talking about, so that's where that came from. So I thought what would be quite good to start with is just explain a little bit about you to the viewers, just where what you're about, really, where you've come from, and that kind of stuff.
From like streaming or just in general?
Just in general, just life, really.
Yeah. So I'm 27 from the UK. Got an Italian background. All my family are Italian, but I was born here. Grew up in the East Midlands in the UK. Been to university, studied events management, got a 2-1 degree in that. Went and worked in hospitality and conferencing for a couple of years. Money wasn't great, and the hours were long. I'd always wanted to get into gaming and somehow get into the industry. I tried my luck at competitive gaming when I was around 16. I used to play semi-professional Halo 3 with a team. We used to go to LANs and compete, but because of like uni and A levels, I had to kind of put that on the back stick because I had to study and get all my stuff done. So yeah, gaming got on the back stick, got my degree, got everything sorted on that. And then once, I've been on Twitch for probably around 7 years now, just as a viewer. And last year, a friend of mine convinced me to start streaming, and it's just kind of been one big roller coaster from there. So it's last February. So here we are. Been crazy.
So what sort of really made you first want to stream?
Don't know really. Like, it was, funnily enough, I was talked into it. I never really had the passion to do it myself. Well, never that I knew I would have had the passion for it. I never knew what it could have become, because you watch all these massive streamers, you're like, oh, before you get into it, you're like, oh, I'll never ever get to this level or whatever. And then, when I got into the scene, and I was like, I never even knew about all these sort of new and upcoming streamers. I was always just watching whoever had the most views, because as a viewer, and not being in the streaming industry, you don't know how kind of the way it works. And when I kind of seen how everything worked, and I started getting people coming into my channel, and started getting my own views and my own community, I just got hooked. And then from there, it just 15 months later, and we're still here. So it's been great. It's been really good. So
yeah, I think one of the cool things is what you actually take from it. Is such an addictive thing.
Yeah.
When people do start to come, and you get over that, and we'll talk about that in a minute, about that first stages in streaming, it becomes so goddamn addictive to the point where you actually want to stream 24 hours a day, quite literally. And then you realise, oh fuck, I can't do that. and it kind of kills you a little bit. So when you first started off streaming it, what was your first kind of like, what was your first thought inside that first kind of like 4 weeks? How was your feeling?
It was interesting because my PC wasn't quite up to standards for streaming. I used to get like, I remember it used to like black out at times. My frames, it couldn't handle like the games I was playing. I was only running games like, at the time it was like Fallout 3, Skyrim, everything on like low settings, all my settings turned down, and my computer at the time just couldn't take it. So it was rough. I had to build a community around kind of like laggy streams and working with what I had. Started building it up piece by piece, which obviously takes time because streaming very expensive, especially if you want to get decent gear for PC. But yeah, man, I just tried to build up. You know, I came into the scene. I didn't know absolutely anyone. I didn't know anything in terms of streaming myself. And you know, I started a brand new Twitch account, a brand new Twitter account, and it was kind of like, right, let's see where this goes. And then through just pure like hard work and determination, we've managed to get to this point. So I definitely fell into a lot of traps when I started, but you learn from your experience, and then you just end up here. Jason asked what I studied at uni. It was events management. So like business kind of related.
So you can put on a good show then.
It's just a logistical nightmare. Events management. Anything that goes wrong, no matter what, it's your fault. It's a very dangerous industry to be in. You know, if something goes wrong in the kitchen, something goes wrong on the front, you're the one who's in charge of running the show. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of responsibility for a lot of hours and very little money. But it's rewarding. It was rewarding, and I've always got that if I need it now behind me. But yeah, I much prefer what I do now. Not even close.
Yeah, I think everybody does. So short confirms that you are a 5'4".
Oh God, my community love to troll me. I'm 5'8", but it doesn't matter what I say because my community will always say I'm 5'4". So,
well, did you leave the other half of your legs at I-64 then?
Well, apparently, like until I went to I-64, I didn't realise 5'8" was short, and then you know I realised I was surrounded by a bunch of mutants and giants. I was like, right, okay, maybe I am short then. God knows. So
I think that I mean, the community is, I think, the biggest thing. I think people when they do start to make a movement in the Twitch circle, I think it's the biggest thing people get out of it. Before you get that community, where you say you fell into some of those traps, what were the sort of obvious traps you fell into?
You can't help but kind of fall into the whole. Social media is a nightmare for stuff like this. We were talking about this literally yesterday. In that, you know, you see everyone's success, and you know when you start off, you see these viewers, you see some of these streamers on a couple of hundred followers and averaging 15, 20 viewers, and you're like, oh, you know, I want to be at that stage. And somebody will tell you about the whole follow scheme, and you know, and just like quick shortcuts on how you can get to like affiliate and all that kind of stuff. So you end up falling into that. You know, your follower count gets inflated. You hit affiliate, and then boom, you've got like 100 followers, and then you've got this affiliation, and then you're like back to like 1 to 2 viewers, and you're like, well, where have all these people gone? And luckily for me, I got advised against it quite early on, and it was the best advice I'd ever have, and that's something I always advise against other people: is be very careful, cutting corners, taking shortcuts, because usually if it sounds too good to be true, it is. The only way you'll get to where you want to get to is through dedication and hard work. So anyone who tells you anything else is obviously cutting corners or whatever. So, but yeah, as a new streamer, it's very, very easy to get caught up in stuff like this, just to kind of get like a little bump count to your followers, and hoping that some of them will stick around. But one thing you learn very quickly is follower count doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
it literally doesn't mean anything. It does not reflect your view count at all. Obviously, the more followers you have, the more chance you've got of getting more viewers, but in the long run, they don't really correlate at all. So,
no, I think it's a common thing that I speak a lot about is the not only just followers but also viewer counts. I don't have my viewer count on, and I haven't done now for probably about 2.5 months. And I don't know what your thoughts are, but I recommend to other people that you turn your viewer count off, because you have one of two things: you either get overexcited or you become depressed. There's never a happy medium.
Absolutely, you nailed it on the head. It's a psychological thing. Some people are good at handling it, and it took me a solid, let's say, probably about 2 months for me to actually turn it off and not look at it at all during stream. Like for me, I always wanted to know, like no matter what, if I felt like I was doing good, if I didn't feel like I was doing good, I always wanted to know. And the problem with that is, if you just look at it and it doesn't affect you, then that's great. By all means, keep it on. But a lot of people get affected by it psychologically, and you can see the reaction when they look at that, and it's just not up to par.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the people that are there, you're going to do them a disjustice by not putting on your full performance. So, if you want my honest opinion, you can't control the viewer count anyway, so there's no point really looking at it. So when I stream on one screen off the dashboard, hide the statistics bit so you can't even see it anyway, and then just stream like you would no matter what. And then at the end, check your stream summary. If it didn't go to plan, okay, maybe watch back a little bit of your VOD and think, right, what could I have done better? Or if it did go to plan and went better, great, I'm doing something good here, let's continue with this. So, yeah.
I think, it's one of the things that I like people to do, but not many people really do it because I think they feel uncomfortable or rude, is to feed back to you. Everybody always should be trying to improve their stream and things like that. And I've watched my VODs back, I've looked at my Twitch stats afterwards, but it doesn't always make sense to me. And in real life, what I do with business, I like people to comment on me. I like people to come to me and say, look, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. Has anybody ever done that to you?
Absolutely. You've got to welcome constructive criticism. It doesn't matter what level you get to, there's always something to learn. There's always something, an idea that someone else might have that you might think, you know what, awesome, I never really thought about this. Something I try to do, especially on Twitter and Discord, is, open questions, create engagement. Just because, you get to partner, or just because you get to a certain level in streaming doesn't mean you know everything. There's always stuff to learn, even by people that are starting up. Somebody may have an idea that's genius that other people haven't thought of, and you can think, actually this girl's got, she's, he or she's onto something here. Let's see if we can use something like this and adapt it. So always have an open mind. It doesn't matter what level you get to. If someone says, as long as they're not obviously being trolly and coming in and being like, you should do this, you should do that, based on just what they want. If they're sending you a private DM after, say, look, I really enjoyed the stream, this is how I think you could potentially improve it. Don't see it as malicious, let's say, obviously depending on how it's worded, but just see it as a way of constructive criticism and a chance to even question the community about it. Say to the community, I had somebody ask me this the other day, what do you guys think about it? And then your community can feed back to you and say, yeah, actually, that's a good idea or not. So, and
I think that's the nice thing, that when you do start to grow a few people around you that regularly come into your stream and stuff like that, it's sometimes nice to actually put it out to them to say, what do you think? Do you, I'm thinking of doing this, I'm thinking of doing that. I suppose procrastination is a big thing in streaming as well, because when you want to change something, sometimes you don't want to change it because you're worried too much about the impact, that if I've got 10 viewers and I change it, I go to 2 viewers. It's kind of like, what tools did you use, I suppose, at an early stage to gain a viewer base?
Based on what you just said, just to take it back a set real quick, the more you grow as a streamer, the more you start to haste about changing stuff, because the more you've potentially got to lose. So something I really recommend, especially in the early days, is try everything. Test out different games, different schedules, try different genres, see what works for you, see what you really enjoy, and then you can kind of go with it. For me, something that really kind of, I'd say, stuck me out and got me, because I went from the 5. It took me a while to get to affiliate, and then from there it just kind of flew. I went from like the 5 to the 20 to 25 average pretty quickly, because at the time I was doing screen streams, which at 15 months ago there wasn't that many people doing stuff like that. So games like Outlast, what else was out back then? Resident Evil 7, and some other bits and pieces. They went down an absolute tree. They were like, I haven't seen anyone do this before. We had like scary alerts and stuff. People caught onto the trend and everyone started doing it, but I feel like I managed to get in there when it wasn't that popular. That really kind of helped me shoot up and build like a foundation of a community. And I still get people coming now saying, Stanley, do you do the screen streams anymore? We did one, I think, 2 weeks ago. So it's nice to kind of bring that back as well. But I think it comes down to just being unique and trying to find something that's niche with you and fits your style at the same time. So.
Yeah, I mean, we do I do a Saturday scare stream type thing, because obviously I do a lot of horror stuff, and I think one of a question that a lot of people ask and have asked me is about not necessarily, some people use the word niche, and I don't like the word niche, But about kind of like finding the you. I always teach people, find the you and amp it up. Because you then come to that argument of competition, comparing to each other. And it's another kind of like, I don't know how you feel about it, but I find that quite a big trap for people, that they try to copy someone, and when they can't achieve it, it becomes very disheartening.
Yeah, bang on. And another thing, again, this also touches on what we were talking about yesterday. One of the biggest flaws, and something that will drive you absolutely mental as a streamer, is trying to compare yourself to someone else. Like, you know, you can start streaming at almost exactly the same time as someone else, right? You two are going to have two complete different journeys. This person may put in more hours. This person may be in a different time zone. This person may play different games. You know, you may grow quicker. He or she may grow quicker. It doesn't matter which way it goes. If you grow quicker or she does, you know, what you can't do is compare yourself to that person, because they're two complete different variables. And you see a lot of new streamers fall into this trap of like, you know, I'm seeing these people grow, I'm seeing these people do this, why is this not happening for me? And it's like, well, you can't get yourself caught up in that, because if you do, it's a never-ending psychological battle. It's like, all right, I'm proud of what everyone else around me is doing, I'm glad that everyone's achieving success. Now it's time for me to focus on my channel and what I'm doing. Because you can't control that. Like, be proud of your peers. If you see someone doing great, use that as motivation to better yourself. Use that as a way to kind of think, right, okay, what is this person doing to do so well, rather than, oh god, this person's just doing better than me, they're obviously a better streamer than me.
Yeah.
And it's all about mindset. Streaming is so much about mindset. Like, you get caught in a bad mindset, the journey's gonna be over very quickly. Whereas if you look at things in like a reflective and positive light, then you'll just keep going. And I fell into these traps many a times, and I'm telling you guys from experience of myself, is that I've been in all the boats of everything I've explained. I've been in there, sitting there and like, why is this person doing so well? Why am I not doing so well? And doing so well is always subjective. What you think is doing well may not be what someone else thinks is doing well, or what you think is doing awful might be great for someone else, right? So figures, stats, take it as you get it. Work hard on your channel and be proud of, you know, your peers, and not be jealous about anybody who is succeeding. So,
what was it? Who just made that point? Ariel just made the point there about time zones. It's another. How killer is that time zone situation?
Honestly, I seriously feel like if I was in America, my statistics would be completely different. I get a lot of American viewers. A lot of them catch the back end of my streams, or a lot of them come in during their lunch breaks. I feel like if I was in like the EST time zone, my statistics would be a whole different ball game. But again, you work with what you've got. You work with the tools you've got. It's not something you can personally control. But time zones are massive. You know, I get some Australians who come in right at the very end because it's like 7 a.m. for them. Get some Americans who come in during their break because, you know, I start at like 3 in the afternoon. So at like 5 it's their lunchtime. I've had numerous messages saying if you were like 5 hours later, you know, they'd be able to catch the whole stream and stuff. But it's something, again, you can't control. But the UK, I hate the UK time zone. I feel so, especially in the streaming world, because streaming is huge in the States, and it's like, I feel like we're in this just an awkward, annoying time zone. How do you feel about that, Feck? Are you in agreement on that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a mixed opinion on this one, because, of course, you know, when you look at the bulk of streamers, they're in the States. There's no argument around it.
Yeah.
But I think having a balanced viewership is quite important, because it comes back to this argument of partner figures. We'll use partner as the figure because it's 75. So to get an average of 75, you've got to have 75 people in your stream. The fact of the matter is it's very difficult to stream for 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours and have 75 continuous people, the same people, in your stream for the whole time. So when you have a variation of time zones, I think it can also work in your favour. However, I personally would love to be in the States and use the viewership from the UK to balance between the two. I mean, Ariel in stream, she's from, and her lovely other half through house, they're from Australia. And it works kind of well sometimes because of the complete time swap. I just find that I really lose some of the amazing people that I love on Time Zone, like Captain Cannoli, Chef Sean, all these people, because I only get to kind of like sit with them for 15, 20 minutes, an hour maybe at most before we lose the kind of that capability. So yeah, I agree with you, and I also believe that it really is. I think it's really cool to kind of have that balanced viewership.
I think it's awful from our point of view in that as well, is that when it's 7 o'clock for them, it's midnight for us. Most people that stream are in full-time jobs. Also, even with myself, I do this for a full-time living. I don't want to be awake after like 1 o'clock in the morning because that ruins my cycle for the next day. I like to try and keep fit, go to the gym in the morning. It's like if I stay up till like 3, 4 in the morning watching streams, it ruins my whole next day.
Yeah.
But I have because we'll talk about this later on down it, but I went for a burnout period in November, and like never again. I have a cut-off point now every night where it's like, right, 11:30 off social media, 1 o'clock, go to bed, simple as that. And unfortunately that cuts me out for some of the American guys. Anyone who goes live later than 7, 8, which is normal time for them, is like 1, 2 in the morning for us. So the UK time zone for supporting and catching other streamers as well is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be cool to rewind some of that, but yeah, it's a nightmare. So when you sort of go back to that initial point of the 0 to 10 viewers, because I know it's in Discord, it's predominant with new people coming in. You kind of plateau at that 5. The two figures that I see the plateau are like 5 and 30. They're the two figures that I always see. I didn't have too much personally an issue of going past the 5, but I stuck at 30 for freaking ages and ages and ages and ages. And a lot of people are like, how. What's your opinion of getting to that plateau of 5 viewers to push past it?
Really depends on what. I mean, there's so many, again, it comes down to so many different factors, and what game are you playing? If you play saturated games like Fortnite, it's gonna be hard to get past that, especially if you're just sitting there and doing solo games, because you're in some retrospect competing against thousands and thousands of other streamers. It's about
go on.
Like, I was very smart in the way that I chose what games I was playing when I first started. Now, I looked at statistics and I looked at figures and thought, right, this is a great way, this is a great route for me to go down, this is a good game for me to play right now, because not many other people playing it, but there is a community for it. So it's about being smart as well to get your name out there.
Smart.
But it's definitely hard. Like Twitch, every month, every week, it's just become more and more saturated. More and more people jump on the streaming bandwagon because they see these people doing well, people making a life out of it, and they're like, I want to get on this. And who can blame them? Because it is, when you do get there, it is something that is amazing. But that also brings in a lot more competition to get there. And make it to that point. So plateaus are going to happen. I've been plateaued in the 70 to 100 average viewership region now for about 4 or 5 months. I'm very happy with where I'm at. I still want to keep growing. I still want to keep going. But for me, I know it's obviously quite high up there, but I still want to get out of it, and I haven't worked out how I'm going to get out of this plateau yet. I'm waiting for certain games to come out. I'm waiting for certain things to change up first. But yeah, you'll plateau at every stage, and it's what happens. And sometimes even go downwards. And again, it's all about mentality and how you take it. Because if you can't handle the red when it's going down, and you let that affect you, it's just gonna keep going down. You just gotta battle it. You gotta keep coming back. So.
Yeah, I think that's again, it comes back to watching your viewer figures and your stats. If you go up and when you go backwards, if you just really analyse that too much, you may as well just literally just unplug your PC and just go back to playing your console on a Friday night in your bedroom, because it can be absolutely demoralising. It brings us to that lovely word, support. It's people say, well, what does support mean? And for me, it's the whole thing of where we go with it. But what do you see as support? What's your kind of like perspective on that when someone says, well, what is support?
This day and age, a lot of people just get it confused with having to be in someone's stream.
Excuse me.
It's so much more than that. It's everything. It's like being in an IRL perspective. It's being there for someone when they need it. It's being a friend to someone. You don't necessarily need to be in everyone's stream all the time. I follow almost 2,000 people on Twitch. There's no way I can get to everyone, but I make a very strong point of that. My DMs are always open, and I will get back to every single message at some point. So in some ways, I can support that way. Just because I may not be able to talk in the chat and be active for several hours a day, doesn't mean I won't support you. And unfortunately, because some people have, not just some people, because like partnership and stuff is very numbers driven, support gets kind of pushed down that route of, oh, you have to be in someone's stream, have to be watching someone and being active. That's real support. Where it's like, well, it's not. There's a lot more to it than just that. It's, again, it comes down to being there for someone, giving advice and just chatting as friends. Because once you start putting pressure, people to come and watch, people are just going to back right off. So
and one of the things that I loved, especially about I-64, with some amazing people in your stream now, Spenny's here and Hype Hale's here and you're here, was that it was truly amazing to meet people in real life. It's kind of like we all sit here on a computer and we all see people, we're all going on about things. But it's so cool to actually make things real. And I can't emphasize that enough to people, to actually get out there and go to some of these events. And I know we don't have the greatest spectrum to do it in the UK. Get out there, meet people, engage through Twitter DMs, find out who's going places and connect, properly connect. Because that support word is I think is harsh sometimes. It brings us into that lovely word, doesn't it? Lurking. and it's a huge topic on Twitter at the moment with certain Discord groups going on and the word lurking. I don't have a problem with lurking as long as it's done in the right way.
Yeah.
What do you think on that? What's your take on it?
Same boat. End of the day, lurker is somebody who wants to be there. In fact, you should actually really be flattered when somebody lurks you, because actually that person's probably really busy at that point, and you don't know what the situation. They could have kids, they could have a husband, a wife, anything could be happening, and yet they still pull a tab and leave the volume up a little bit to say, right, I'm here, I'm lurking you. I want to support you with this tab, help your average viewership or whatever their reason is. And honestly, I feel like lurking gets criticised a lot these days. But again, anything that works in that element with what you just said can get abused very easily, and unfortunately some people do abuse it. But natural lurking of, I want to support all these people, I'm going to pull some tabs, but I can't actually be there and chat, is massively, what's the word for it, flattering. It's really flattering, because that person pulled you a tab even when they didn't have to, because they could easily just not do it. There's nothing making them do it. It's
like work lurks, isn't it? I mean, I have the utmost respect for anybody that opens a tab for me and goes, I'm working and I'm lurking, because you for one is if you're actually doing it while you say you're there, you're gambling on your job for a start, and I don't want anybody to do that, for me especially. But in the same vein, you're taking the time out of your day when you're not sat at a computer to remember me as a streamer and actually give me a tab, and I think that's fucking amazing. And I've been with people that go, fucking lurkers, they're a bunch of fucking dicks, and I put it in a really brutal way, because it is brutal the way they've put it. And for me, I've changed my perspective on a little bit, and it'd be good to hear your point on this. When I used to go live, here's what I used to do. I used to kind of set up and I'd be ready, and I'd be proper ready. And then I'd go and open up, because I've got quite a good PC, and I'd open like 12 tabs. And I wouldn't go anything about going live, because I've never done that, and that is the big no-no. But I'd kind of like put you, like I'd just chuck in a emote up, or I'd be like, I'd make an excuse of like having tea, lurking you, whatever. And I'd have like 12 tabs open, and then I'd feel obliged halfway through my stream to pause my game or drop out my chat to go and refresh my lurks to these guys. And now what I do is on my live days, I support up to going live, and then when I go live, I turn everything off apart from my game, my stream, the whole lot. That's how I do it.
Yeah, I'm exactly in the same boat. In my opinion, I fully respect anyone who does do lurks while they're live. If that's what you want to do, fair enough. For me, when I'm live, the attention needs to be on my community and needs to be on my stream and my chat, whether it's moving or not. That's where I want my attention to be. And again, if you're a PC streamer and you're pulling up loads of tabs when playing games and trying to focus on what you're doing, it's extra computer power. It's more strain on your computer, it's more pressure on everything that's going on. So in my opinion, the way that I like to do it, if I'm live, that's the focus there. When I'm not, I'm happy to go out all tabs and help and support people wherever I can. So
I think, and with the support side of it, what I would, I hope people kind of get it, and I learned this, and it took me a while to learn this, and it was through watching people, other streamers, and how they go about doing it, and listening to your podcast especially, and then I did a lot of studying with like stream coaches and stuff on YouTube. It was really cool, and that support element was that it took me a long while to learn that support wasn't just dropping in someone's stream and going, "Hey buddy, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. Oh well, how's the dog? Yeah, good." And then you don't speak again and you disappear. I've really built some amazing relationships. Some of them are in a lot of them are in chat, and a lot of them are in my community. And I hope a lot of them see that same perspective. Is that something you picked up early on, or is that something you took a while to pick up on?
It just takes time. I mean, it's different for everybody. It's like, depends on what your experiences are and what you go through on a day-to-day as a streamer. I think, it doesn't matter how long I've been streaming for. I learn new things every day, especially when it comes to ways to develop and build relationships. But it definitely comes down to what we spoke about regarding support, in that you don't just have to be in everyone's channel talking all the time to be classed as, let's say, a supporter. And something that I'll say very bluntly right now is, if you have anybody in your DM saying to you or moaning to you that you don't come to their streams enough or that you don't support them enough, that's already a big no-no from me. Twitch is supposed to be fun. Twitch is supposed to be a place where you can go into people's chats and go in there because you want to support them or drop them a tab. When people start trying to force you to do it, and when people start saying you don't do it enough and all this sort of stuff, that's when you should be already putting the red line there to say, okay, this is just not how it should be. I've had that done to me before, and I've cut ties because at that point it's kind of like, this isn't support anymore. It's turned into like a dictatorship kind of thing of where you want my time to be. So very important to remember that.
Yeah, Spenny, I agree with Spenny there. Spenny just said, like, try and chat for 15 minutes. On support, exactly the same for me. I try and stick in someone's chat now for 15 minutes to half an hour. And sometimes you don't always connect with people. I get that. But try and make the effort, because it's a two-way street. And when someone's concentrating on playing a game, they're not concentrating necessarily on building you. So I agree, Spenny, that's spot on, man. I'm totally with you on that one. Which brings us into another really cool question of like, when you should you focus on your gameplay or should you focus on chat?
It's the classic, isn't it? Where do you put your attention to? Again, that comes down to what's happening. It comes down to what's happening in your channel at the time. So I think you should be focused on your gameplay when you start your stream and things are going on. When the chat's moving, focus on the chat. Chat should be number one. Unless you're a professional player or a competitive player where people come in to watch the gameplay, chat is always number one. Chat interaction has to be number one. But if the chat's not moving, focus on the game and focus on trying to be interactive, because there's nothing worse when someone comes into your stream, even if it's just a lurker or a brand new viewer, and they just see you sitting there in silence just playing a game, because they could go do that. The whole thing about streaming is that interaction. And there's nothing better when you go see a streamer and they're having a laugh, or they're talking to some friends, or it's just like stuff's happening. It makes you want to engage and kind of get involved, think, this looks like a lot of fun, I want to get involved here. So yeah, it's prioritization. Unless you're a pro gamer, your attention should be on the chat. If the chat's not moving, try and focus on the game and try and be interactive. Try and not let there be too many quiet spots, because quiet spots are a tough one, because not everybody's massively extroverted in terms of their personality, so people find it hard to constantly commentate. And I say ways to get around that is, one, play a game that you really enjoy, one that you're passionate about so you can naturally talk about it, or two, play a game with friends. Because then you've got that interactivity and you're always talking and having fun. That's what I did. I started with DVD, was one of my first games. And I used to play with my best mate. So that way, if the chat wasn't moving, I'd speak to him. And there's always something going on.
I mean, that was one of the next questions of going back to this kind of like 0 to even 0 to 30. I mean, I've had times where I've had, like, view numbers of 60. and I've gone through like 25 minutes of pure fucking silence. And I'm kind of like, whoa. Now, I've got ways I get around it, but one of the things I was going to say, ask you was like, when you were at that early stage of that 0 to 10 and slightly above it, what did you speak about when there was no one there? What do you, and you kind of answered it in that way of I got over mine by exactly the same way. I'm normally playing, or I started especially playing, but I've got Jixer who's always in DBD with me, and I've got Uncle Ark, everybody knows him, and he, when I first started off, it was the three of us playing COD, and the great thing about it was there was never a quiet patch, because when I play COD I turn into a fucking raving lunatic, so the chat was always there, because I'd be like calling somebody out or moving there, or we'd be talking about what went on today, and so I suppose this, it's kind of covered that subject there of kind of like trying to kill that stagnant chat, because it can be awkward, and you go on a lot of people's streams and it does it, and it's a cool point. So completely change the subject. If you had to change your name, what would you change it to and why?
Oh God, I would like to have the name just Stallion.
Right. Yeah.
But I've messaged Twitch about this, and the way that their recycling system works with names is that they can't just, even though the account's not even active, they can't give me the account because of how their system works. So maybe one day the name will get freed up. I doubt it, but I'm pretty happy that I got ImStallion, because apart from that, every variation of my name is taken. So yeah, if I was to change it, it would be just Stallion, but that might not ever happen unless I become like a ninja level streamer, so that's probably the only time where it would be able to happen. So
never say never.
Well, hopefully one day, dude. You never know.
So I suppose, and then it goes on to this the 30 view mark. 30 views, you're kind of starting to build a bit of a community around you, and this is where this time scale of support comes back in that. I mean, I know I've spoken to you on DMs about this. I kind of like last month I had 87 subs, and some of them are gifted to people that are just in my chat.
Yeah.
I struggle because I'm so passionate about support. 'Cause it's the biggest thing I've learned to love from streaming. How the shit in hell do I get around all these people all while?
I couldn't just do darn it.
How'd you do it?
Well, like I said, I follow almost 2,000 people on here, so it's next to impossible.
Yeah.
So the way that I do it, but again, this is going to be different between me and you, because I do this full time. I don't know how many hours you're able to spare on top of what you do for streaming. So again, it's dynamics. But what I do is I dedicate, aka today, which is my support day, let's say, and I'll do what Spenny said and try and open a tab, 15 minutes, chill out in there, get to see what's going on, ask some questions, see how that person's doing, and then try and go to the next person. And usually, funnily enough, I'll actually show you this. I have a diary. If I didn't have this diary, I wouldn't be able to focus. You can see here, because I support so many people, this is a great way of how I get round. I can see here the people who have watched on particular days and that I've supported to know that I've actually been round accounts. Because this way, because if you don't do this, within like 2 days, you're like, shit, how long has it been since I've been in this person's channel? So doing something like this really helps me know where I have been and where I want to get to. But again, I support a lot of people and try to get around as many channels as possible.
Was my name on that list?
That diary really, really, really helps me do that and get around as many as possible. So
I've got, and I'm, you know what, I like, because of what I do in real life, I'm relatively well organised, but it's something I'm really bad at. I've just started to do the whole kind of like, when I'm on a support day, I'll send a tweet out going, because I always want to build my new viewership, but I want to maintain my existing community. And I'll send this tweet out and I'll be like, shoot me a time to when you're on. And you know what? I'm so bad at that. I kind of like, I don't make that list, and I know I need to make that list because it's something that I think you're right, to keep a concentration of where you're going, and also to keep a promise, because if you reply, one thing I hate is when people reply to a tweet but they don't follow it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure you've had a million of them where someone will be like, hey buddy, I'm going to come and see you, I'm going to come and they never freaking do. And not that I'm saying that's a horrible thing, just be careful that you keep your promises, because I think it's quite an important it's quite important, so I was reading chat there, thing to do as well. And I know one thing that's really burning everybody is, what the fuck's the board about behind? Because everybody
People
asks
behind
this,
me.
everybody loves this question for you. So explain it.
Oh,
to me.
this is absolute sentiment to me. This is kind of like 15 months summed up right here. So I have my sub count at the top. I've got my top ever donator in green, my top ever bits blue, and every single one of these initials is somebody who's donated, somebody who's gifted a sub in the last 15 months. Funny story, it used to be the name of every single one of my subscribers, and we had too many, so we had to change it to initials. And we had too many of that, so we had to go to gifted subs. We had too many of that, so we had to change that to initials. And this is where we're at. And it's just like, do you know the great thing about this board? It's actually stopped me quitting about like 3-4 times, like in the early days. I wanted to sit there and wonder why things are not going right. Or I would think that things aren't going right. I'd be like, right, you know what? Look at this. Look how far we've come in however many months. You need to stop thinking like this. This board has a lot of sentimental value to me, in that it's a big way of saying thank you to everybody who's ever supported me and the stream. And it sits behind me in every single stream, obviously.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Camera's always here. And now I use it for a light board as well. So
Get it on. Get it on. Get it on.
To anyone who's doesn't like flashing lights, please turn away now. But we have like crazy parties. We strobe it, and to all my guys in here will know exactly what I'm talking about. But you can do some crazy stuff with it. It's awesome. And yeah, it's just we've kind of like adapted it to be like it's now the party board.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, like for me, it has a lot of sentimental value, and
OGO Ray.
Yeah, it has stopped me. It has stopped me quitting many a times in the early days, and I'm very, very thankful that I did invest in something like this. So.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I mean, I'm a big dreamer in life, and I've been since I was kind of like 18 really, and but 2 years ago, and it's kind of like for me, it's I just to have something to focus on what you see. I can't emphasize it enough with people. Visualize what you want, where you want to be as well. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like so freaking important to remind yourself every day of what you're bumping into, what you're going to come across and stuff like that. It's so cool. And I mean, I remember hearing the story of that board ages ago, and I think it's quite inspiring. I think it's really cool for other people to know. And I know there's a few people, mirroring people is really cool. I know there's other people that do similar things, and what works for you, use it as inspiration, guys. Like from my perspective to you, I came into streaming with nothing, man. It was a joke for me, and I don't mean it as a joke. I mean it was funny to compete with my kids, put it that way. And I kind of sort of met you, and you were so open and stuff. It was really cool for me to kind of like gel with you. I mean, we're obviously similar ages as well, so it's kind of like really important just to kind of like build it and find somebody like that, guys. It's really freaking important. So. Who was your inspiration? Who's sort of been your inspiration through streaming?
It's a tough one. There's loads. To name a couple of names off the bats would be a tough one. But as I said, the reason I got into it, because it's kind of like I was talked into it. But for myself, I've been on Twitch for about 7 years. I've seen like the rise of Ninja when he first started out. Now I was in his channel when he was in the first, couple of hundred viewers playing Halo 3 as a semi-pro. And yeah, in terms of inspiration, I don't know, man, like to better myself from the really big guys, people like Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, cool.
He drives me to take my production value to the next level.
Yeah, totally.
And then just like people that I know, even around the community, doesn't matter what their follower count is, doesn't matter what they're doing, just seeing how hard that people work. And seeing how people build themselves from, for example, for you like yourself, you came in with nothing, I came in with nothing. We have very similar journeys on, we built this all through hard work. And that, for me, is an inspiration to say, you know what, Feck, you've done it properly, you've done it the proper way, and, you deserve everything you've got. So you see inspiration everywhere, It would be impossible for me to throw it into a name, but yeah, you just see everywhere. People coming through with hard work and building up to where they've got now is a massive inspiration. So,
I mean, I agree with you. I think some people that inspire me are people that have only just set out on their journey, and they've had adversity. I mean, I love going in people's streams that an odd background. I'll put it in a nice way, because it's kind of like my mini Fecktwit that you guys will see flying around. She's type 1 diabetic since she was 5, and so I've got a couple of sort of diabetic streamers I follow, and I think it's inspirational when you see what people use as a tool to get them to make themselves better day in, day out, and you know, to just focus on that, man. It is properly the one of the big subjects I really want to cover is negativity. Or I suppose I'll ask the question first. Have you had much negativity thrown at you?
Compared to some, no. I've had it, and between trolls and people that have hated either on me or on my community for different things. I don't know. It has happened. The way that I deal with it, I just take I'm all about no drama policy. I'm not interested. If you bring drama to my doorstep, it's a block. It's a mute. Don't get involved in it. Because at the end of the day, this is my professional career. I've worked 15 months to get to this point. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. You know, if I've done something wrong, I'll openly come back to you and be like, I apologise, I'm really sorry, can we move forward? You know. However, if I feel like someone is just trying to bring drama to me or bring negativity because they either don't like something or something, I'm happy to have a chat. If they want to take it to an insulting level, I'll just block and remove because I'm not interested. So it's just knowing about, you're letting it go to a certain level, and if they step the mark, just gone. Just not interested. Like, as I said, if people bring drama to my doorstep, it's just stamp them out. I'm not interested in that. And a lot of comments we get in the, for new people that come into the channel, like, why are these people are so nice in here? Like, it's such a nice community. That's because we stamp out all the stamp out the negativity. We don't want none of that around, So
yeah, I think that's really, really important. And I don't know how about your journey from the start, but I had been through a lot of discords in the space of a very short period, and I don't mind calling discords out in a nice way, because I don't do the same in negativity. But I joined the Old Man Crew, which was a tremendous place. Loved it. I met some amazing people like Stitch Thumbs, Maestro. Who else have we got there kicking around? Can't see none of the names called to mind there. But so I met some amazing people, and they've come with me through this journey, and I've stayed with them through their journey, and I reconnect with people every now and then. But what's your thoughts on this? When you leave a Discord, I fucking hate the fact that it's like you cut your leg off. Like, the people that are the hierarchy in that Discord, they don't want anything else to do with you. Like, I'm not going to retweet you, I'm not going to support you, I'm not going to say hello, and if you come in my stream, I'm going to kind of like nearly blank you. And you think, what a fucked up mindset. What an absolute crazy mindset.
Absolutely. Like, not only with Discord, but I also lead stream for Hype as well, and we have people coming in out of the team all the time. And for me, nothing changes. I'll still, if I can still go support that person, or if I had a connection with that person, it'll remain. I've had people come and leave my Discord. Doesn't make me look at them in any different manner. People have their reasons, As far as I'm concerned, we're all in the same boat anyway. It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what community you're in. It doesn't matter what name you're branded under. We're still doing the same thing at the end of the day. So if that's how your mentality is of, I'm only going to support people in this community because of this, or I'm only going to do this because of this, and you're in the wrong mentality, because it's like, it's good to have your own family, and it's great to want to support your family, but just because of a name, don't forget about everybody else who's included, because one, you restrict yourself into a bracket, and two, you limit yourself to meeting new people. So no matter what community you're part of, no matter what team you become part of, don't forget about everybody else around you. So
yeah, and it's craziness. I personally have had experience with it, and I know people in the USC, which is our community, is that it's craziness. And I think I'm still in two communities, or linked to two communities that I was from the moment I started streaming, which is SSC and Dre's community. What's Dre's community? God, streamers. You.
It is also USC.
Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, and they're the two. And why? Because I've got amazing people in there. And I met some amazing people in there. And the community is they're not toxic. That's great. You know, I don't chat too much in SSC, but I love coming in there because everybody's really ace, and I've met so many cool people through SSC. It's beyond belief, and that has helped me sort of grow in there. So, in terms of trolls, what's been your experience with trolls? Because I know it's a big question that comes up with that. I saw it a while ago.
In terms of Discord or in general?
Just stream. I mean, Discord to me, I don't know about your thoughts on this one, jumping out that away from that question 2 seconds. Discord is a great place to meet people and continue and keep in touch with them. But the battlefield for us is Twitch. It's where we stream. Yeah. That's where we build the relationships. And I think that you get loads of trolls in Discord, people coming in and posting shite and crap and pornography and all this kind of stuff, which, you know, just DM me. I'm perfectly happy to keep it on a file. But it's just more about the fact that Twitch trolls, because to some people there's a big push at the moment with mental health. I'm a strong guy, and I'm really lucky, and I'm very, very fortunate. And some of my close buddies, they're not. So that 2 seconds of a troll coming in can demolish somebody. How do you deal with that?
I'll be honest with you, mate. It doesn't even get to me because I've got myself a mod team that absolutely just rip face. Like I have a solid 9 to 10 guys who, within 35 hours a week, I always have at least 2-3 in there. Big shout out to Nathan, who's actually in the chat right now, one of my mod guys. Yeah. And I don't even get to read the message half the time because by the time it's posted, if it's inadequate, bang, timeout. If it gets posted again, bang, ban. If it's racist, straight ban. Don't care if you're a sub. Yeah, you're racist in my chat, you're gone. Done easy as that. So myself and my mods are on the same wave in that we know what to accept and what not to. Yeah. Obviously we don't mind obviously banter and joking around, but you can tell when someone steps the line. Messages will get deleted, people get timed out, and it's very, very important. Like I'm the same as you. I'm rough skinned. I always joke around and say that I grew up with a 360 on the COD days. You know, I've heard it all. People say it all over the mic and grew up with the whole trolling culture. So, you know, come at me, say what you want. I honestly couldn't. I'm not going to take offence from some random person over the internet, you know. So it's just like, you know, it goes in one ear, it comes out the other. See you later. You're banned in my chat. So I think when it comes to that, having a solid mod team really, really, really helps. And don't give these people attention. You know, time them out, ban them out, get them gone, crack on, focus your mentality and, you know, viewership on the stuff that's good and the people that do actually care about you in the channel. So
yeah, I'm the same. I mean, my mod team is again, like probably everybody's, has varied so much from the beginning to where it is now. I've got so amazing mods. I've got Dominic that's in now. I've got Wolvie. They're two just like, they're absolute gems. But I go in some people's chats and they've got like 96 moderators, and it's because they won a game in marbles or something like that. And you think to yourself, you know, I'm not saying it's right or wrong because I'm never going to put my stamp on anything, but I sort of think to myself, is it not devaluing the process of what you really want to do?
Sorry, ask that again. Is there a value in...
Is that devaluing the process of who your mods should actually be?
Do you know what, actually, funny if we talk about this, I actually asked this question out on Twitter today in what do people look at and what do people go for when, you know, picking up mods. For me, it's personally, I'm probably the same with you on this, people that either are very active in your chat, support you and support your community in the background, and something I look for, especially in a mod, is what they do outside the channel and how active they are and how much of an interest they take in both myself and the channel. And all of my mods I speak to almost every single day, in one way or another, even if it's through DM, because they have a very big interest in either myself or where the channel's going, and they want to see it become the best place it can be. And I think that's really important. Is when you, no matter what level you get to as a streamer, if you have these people who come in day out, they welcome people all the time, they're in your chat a lot, and they're taking interest in you in your personal life, that's usually mod material.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely with you on that one.
But obviously be very careful who you put, because once you give them the sword, they could do all sorts of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at one point, you know, early on, when I had, when I was at that sort of 30 view mark early on that, you know, I probably had more moderators than I had viewers. Because it was kind of like I was trying to get people to kind of gel into my stream, and it was kind of like, do you want to be a mod? Do you want to be a mod? Come be my mod. Come be my mod. They're going to come back every time then because I'm a moderator, and it doesn't work like that. Just doesn't work like that. It's kind of like not good. So totally off subject again. If what's the dumbest way you've ever been injured?
Oh God. I've never broken a. Oh god, let me touch wood real quick. I've never broken a bone in my body. The dumbest way. I remember when I was a kid, I swung a baseball bat at like a metal. Was it like a wooden gate fence thing? And it came back and hit me back in the eye, and I like bust all my like just above my eye, like all bust open, and it was like bleeding everywhere, and I had to get like stitches and stuff. Because I smacked this pole so hard that it came back and ricocheted back in the eye. So yeah, that wasn't good. It was probably like 15, 20 years ago now, but yeah, that wasn't fun. It hurt a lot. So yeah, not fun.
So right, three tips to any new or aspiring or growing streamer. If you could pinpoint 3 tips, what would those 3 tips be?
Over the process of getting to where I am now, these have changed. My number 1, and it's probably now number 3, maybe even number 2, would be schedule. Yeah. Schedule is absolutely massive. Yeah. Very underrated when you first start, because people just kind of just do it as and when. And some people unfortunately can only do it as and when, because they've either got kids, they've got a full-time job, or they work shift work and things change day to day. And you have to, unfortunately for some people, that's just the way it is. Mm-hmm. But if you can, try and get some sort of schedule where you can mirror as much as possible from week to week, because consistency is so important. Like, if you want people to keep coming back and you set your streams at the same time every week, that is going to be the best way of doing it, because they know when you're live. They don't take any effort to already know when you're live or when it's going to be live. So schedule is massive. That's definitely in there. This one's probably now number 1, and it's something that I think, has kind of come more and more into my life, especially since Pit Partnership, is that every time you go live, don't have any expectation of what you want to happen or what's going to happen. Click that going live button with a very, very open mindset to say, okay, whatever happens today, I'm going to appreciate it. I want to do my best. Now, whether you hit your, for example, sub goals, whether you hit your dono goals, BD goals, whatever you've got, there's going to be days where you smash it. There's going to be other days where you don't even hit it. And if you let that dictate the way that you are, same way as looking at your view count, it's gonna blow your mindset up. So just click that going live button with no expectations. Just be like, right, today I'm just gonna get my head down and just smash this. And if you just do that stream on stream on stream, you'll stream flawlessly every single time because you're enjoying it, and that's what it's all about. It should be about.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that point becomes even more relevant when you depend on it financially. For example, myself, I set myself sub goals. I have like not like a dono goal, but I have like a monthly dono like tab on my stream, so you can see like an accumulative amount of how much people have donated over the months. It's like another way for me to say thank you. And when you take that transition to full time, it becomes 10 million times more serious, just through the fact of financials, because financials are such a big thing. So that's 2. So 1 is open mindset. 1 is schedule. The last one's probably going to be social media. You see the difference between people that just use Twitch and just try and stream 6 to 12 hours a day, versus the guy who's doing 4 hours on Twitch and then trying to push his social media for 3 to 4 hours a day. The second one is going to succeed a lot quicker than the first one. Social media is so key. If you're not on Twitter, posting at least Twitter, because Twitter's huge. And then if you can, try and add stuff like Discord, Instagram. Don't flood yourself. But the more you're out there, the more exposure, the better. Social media is key. So try and get yourself out there, represent yourself, post content, clips, information about yourself, ask open questions.
Yeah.
Open questions is so engaging, a great way to kind of get your mindset and your opinions across. It's super key. So yeah, social media, schedule, keeping an open mind would be what I would tell myself 15 months ago. This is what you should be doing. So
yeah, I think I certainly would elaborate, because Topley put a question in there as you were talking about schedule. He said, Fecktwit, what would you base your schedule on? How do you make the right scheduler? No idea what word that is, Topley, for God's sake. You need a dictionary for your stream. And what I would say is that if you really struggle to create a fixed stream schedule of say 2, 3, 4 nights, days, whatever it's going to be, just try and set one that you can guarantee will be in stone. You're never going to fail. You're always going to turn up for. And then the other streams build around your actual set. What's your thought? That's my take on that. What's your thoughts on that?
Communication is key. Even if you do shift work and your schedule changes week by week, this is what you've got, stuff like Twitter. This is what you've got, pinned tweets. You know, when I do mentoring, I say that your pinned tweets should be 90% of the time scheduled. At the end of the day, you want people to know when you're live, right? And this is even more so for people that work shift work, is that every week when you find out your rota, pin another tweet, get it on there, make it look interactive, make it look cool, and just keep people updated, because that's what it comes down to in the end of the day, is communication. Yeah, they might not be able to make it because maybe they can't make a time, but you've got the best chance you've got is keeping people updated and telling them what's going on. To say, right guys, Monday, I've got my new rota, this is what it's looking like this week, you know, hope to see you there. And don't forget, when you're pinning out a pin tweet, and this makes me cringe a lot, is when people put like 6 till 9 p.m. and you're like, right, what time zone? That's one. Don't forget time zone, because 6 to 9 p.m. for someone could be 11 till 1 for someone else, or 11 till 2 for someone else. So time zone and just keeping people up to date, very, very important.
Yeah, I think the schedule is probably the biggest thing that I wish I'd have learned at the start, and the other reason the schedule is because of that reversal of roles, where people start streaming and they just stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
They can't support anybody, they can't build a relationship with anybody, and if you set that schedule and put it in stone, you can then start to evolve it a little bit more. And Wolvie just said there, I can't fix the schedule except that I stream every second Sunday, and just make sure that every second Sunday you're doing it, and then just like Stallish just said there, just communicate around everything else of when you can stream. Use Twitter, blast it. I'm getting into Facebook and Insta at the moment. Facebook I'm actually finding really good. My last stream on, where are we, freaking Tuesday, Saturday, I had 16 people come in from my Facebook post, which
nice.
They didn't stick for long, but it was a good start considering I've only just started the process going. So guys, hit that social media, man, as big as you can. Expectations, this is the biggest reason for failing anything in life, in business, in streaming. If you set yourself an expectation and don't meet it, 95% of people give up on it. So don't have that expectation, just enjoy it. You enjoy it when you go and play your game and no one's watching you, so just freaking well enjoy it when someone isn't watching you. That's I think. And the last point of that, I'll just quickly wrap it up on, is game category. What's your take on game category?
In regards to the best for like growth and stuff, or just like stream, or
early on in streaming, so you're just starting off in streaming.
Yeah.
What's your take on game category?
This is again something we touched on yesterday. I started off with RPGs and story playing games, and arguably RPGs are probably the hardest scene to grow in, because you expect somebody to sit and listen to a storyline that they probably have no idea about, or that they've already completed. It's usually one of the two. Or if they do know about the story, they're probably further ahead than you. So, if you're going down the RPG route, and this applies to certain other games as well, and styles, it's going to be harder. Like, I know a couple of people who are fantastic at RPGs and at certain styles of games, and they have their ways to make their streams unique and are currently doing well. But there are definitely certain genres of games that do better than others. But you can't knock the shooting games, for example. They're everywhere. Yeah. Between CS:GO to COD to Fortnite to PUBG to, they dominate Twitter. Probably you see all these games in the top 20 all the time. And you've got MOBAs between League, Dota, Smite. Again, they're all in the top 20. There's definitely popular categories, but then you've got these little like gems, like dungeon crawlers. And stuff like, I guess you could class Warframe as a dungeon crawler. And these games are great because they're in that weird little middle pocket. Now, Warframe is like this insane gem that I would highly advise anyone. I went through that game and I picked up a lot of people that are still in my community now just from that. Cool. because it has a lot of viewers and they're spread between a lot of accounts. If you put something like new player in the start of your thing, so many people will come in and want to help you. I met so many people because they wanted to come and help me. It's not massively flooded. It has a great audience. The people are nice, and it's free. Games like that are honestly a great way when you start off to kind of look into growth. Look for a game that has between anything from like 2K, probably maybe even 1K, to 7K viewers in that middle bracket. And there's a lot of people streaming them games. People are more likely to jump around. Another example that we use as a website is called Twitch Strike, which shows you what games are good to play at what hours, what games are not good to play at what hours. So if it's really what you want in terms of growth, then that's a great website to use it.
Yeah, we've got Twitch Strike in our tools, guys, in the USC Discord. If you're wondering what that's about, it is really, really useful. But I'm with you. I mean, at my outset, I streamed COD probably for 6 days of the week. Found that I got no organic growth, and I quickly looked at why this was, because I thought, I've switched Twitch on. Why the fuck have I not got 1,000 viewers? And, do you know what I mean? Because we've all done it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, fucking hell. I'm an old man, and I still thought I was going to get some ninjas kind of capability. But the bit I actually love is that I quickly realised, and I've always played Dead by Daylight. So I've played Dead by Daylight since early release on Steam. So I'm with you on that one. And at Thursdays is playing with viewers. The reason I like it, guys, and I know that I've watched Sally do this loads with the likes of Black Ops and Fortnite, especially with him that I've seen, is that games that play with viewers is just a brilliant way of engagement if you can get people to come in. And when you do get them in, you find they come out. I've got some great guys in there. I've got some great guys in my personal Discord that have all come through playing Dead by Daylight. So I think that's an important thing for people to realise, that when they're streaming 24 hours, 7 days a week, and they're streaming Black Ops or Fortnite and they're getting no viewers and no one in it, they've got to understand the reasons why, and without being too harsh on them, there is a degree of kind of like everybody's wanting the same thing. And that's kind of where we lie. So the future for Stally, what's next?
The big question, ain't it? You know me, dude. I don't stop. You know, my days off are never really days off. I don't remember the last time I took my next proper day off is going to be this Saturday. I'm literally just turning my phone off and just having a full day, because I haven't done that in weeks now. I always end up coming to do something. I've currently got a website in the works.
Nice.
I applied for Discord partnership today. My stream team for my Discord got accepted, so we now have our own stream team on Twitch.
Yeah, I see that. That's cool.
I manage a roster of around 18 streamers on Hype Unit, so I have to manage all them guys. Growing my channel. On top of all that, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, add all this together, it doesn't stop. Literally never ever stops. Like,
you need some kids.
During this interview now, I've already gathered, I've just looked at Twitter now, gathered like over 500 notifications. It's just me. It's just, if you don't ever turn off, you'll never stop. So what a lot of people don't see is that they think, oh, you know, this person's doing so well, they're earning all this money, they're doing this, but it's like, yeah, but, you know, I wake up, go to the gym, come back, and then by 12 o'clock until 1 in the morning, 13 hours later, I haven't stopped.
Yeah, it's a job.
So, and that's it, all day, every day. The life of a content creator, the life of somebody who wants to build this, you're not looking at a 35-hour-a-week job, you're looking at 100 hours plus. If you want to do this full time and really make something of yourself, at least 100 hours plus. It full time is a whole different mindset in this industry when you get there, because not only have you got to start worrying about financials, you have to try and keep growing on every single front, and sometimes things start going backwards and you can't control that, and it's all about how you keep yourself up the arse and keep going. You know, I'll openly admit at the moment my Twitter followers have taken an absolute dip to how quickly I was growing before. You know, like, right, how do I bounce back to this? It's like, well, okay, it's not the end of the world. You know, set out some engaging conversations. Let's go and try and meet some new people. Because you could easily just sit there and start getting depressed about it. Oh, why is this not working? You know, there's two ways of going about it. You just sit there and get depressed about it, or you think, right, I'm going to do something about this. And there's always a million different categories every day that I'm trying to, grow. And then you've got DMs on top of all that, and notifications and everything else that's going on. So yeah, it's carnage. But I love this so much, and I've built all this in 15 months from the bottom up, from scratch, and it ain't stopping anytime soon unless Twitch bans. So let's hope not. So yeah.
Right, Drek says, so I'm a super competitive gamer and I mainly play PUBG.
Yeah.
What is a good way to communicate with my viewers during intense gameplay and situations like that?
God, it's a tough. That's the middle bracket, isn't it? It's the competitive gamer. Like you're in that weird bracket of you're not like known as a professional, but you would like to get to that level. But to do that, you need to focus on the game versus the chat, and it's like. Do you know what? It's a weird one because I have a history in esports and wanted to become competitive. That's how I got into the whole gaming scene when I started. And when I play certain games, I have to try and calm myself down. I can feel it in my head, and I'm just naturally very competitive. You just have to try your best. Like my setup, I have my gaming screen here, and then my viewing screen for the chat right here. And the good thing about me is. My chat is on the far right-hand side of my left monitor. So even when I'm really focusing on the game, I just have to flick my eyes slightly to the left and I can see what's going on in the chat. So maybe set up, try and have your chat as close to the game screen or even above it, whatever works for you. But if it's gameplay that you want people to come in for, do it as best as you can. I know it's a lot harder, but if you want to become a competitive gamer or you want to be a professional player, that's the way you're going to have to do it. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, I think Lord makes a good point. I think
one.
sometimes the viewers have got to understand what game they're coming in to watch. And if it's a competitive game, most people will come into that understanding that it's a competitive game. And then, what is it, Dom said, one of her pet peeves is when you go into a stream, and we've all done this or we've been involved in this, and you're in there for 10 minutes and it's kind of like, hello, hey, fucking, I'm here, hiya. And we've dropped raids before with like 30 people in there, and it's kind of like, play, don't worry about it. It's kind of like, whoa, you've dropped a raid of 34 people here, and the guy's sitting there going, and they're playing like Stardew Valley. It's not even like a competitive game. It's kind of crazy. Stardew Valley's good, by the way, but it's kind of like just one of those things. And it's frustrating, but I think what you've got to realise is that. It's probably just as frustrating for them because they're just setting off on their journey. They don't quite understand it. And I've never missed a big raid, but I've been gutted, guys, when I've missed a follow. And I'm like, oh, damn, man, how did I miss that? So when you miss a raid of 34 people, it must be fucking gutting to have missed that raid. So bear with the people, bear with the streams at the same time. So, what else we see? Chat.
I think Wolvie pretty much nails it. Talk about, especially when you're playing competitive, talk about your thought process, what you're doing.
Yeah.
Be vocal.
Yeah.
Be vocal. But then again, if you're playing with people, and unless you use like push to mute or push to talk, then are these people going to want to listen to you doing that? So again, it's like, it's give or take. It depends on the situation. If you're playing solos, definitely.
Then
if not, it's a tough one.
That's another cool one. When you're playing with viewers, I get that now, where my chat, to be honest, on a stream is pretty consistent, and I am a total chat over game situation person.
Yeah.
And when I'm playing, I can't get used to push to talk, and I'm sure some of the people in chat will have seen my stream the other day where I pushed to talk on Dead by Daylight. I was trying to get off the hook with my push to talk button. Because I can't multifunction. I'm a bloke. I can do one thing at a time, and that's my cap. So how did you get used to that kind of stuff?
Look, do you know what? Someone actually told me the best idea for push to talk, and this is honestly a game changer for anyone. Get yourself a foot pedal. Like for racing game stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then just push that down when you want to talk, or push it down when you want to mute. They ain't gonna press anything, and I actually still need to get that.
That's cool. Yeah, Lord just said the same thing.
Foot pedal. Get yourself a foot pedal.
That's really cool.
Honestly, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. So yeah.
The problem is though, I'll be getting off the hook, standing up my foot like that on the floor.
unless you start smacking the foot pedal with your foot, then it might be a different story. But definitely a foot pedal was a great way to.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
not have to worry about changing anything on the game. And a lot of people use push to mute now. Well, so like they'll talk a game, and then when they want to talk to the chat, they just put their foot on the pedal and then talk, and then take it off when they get back into the game. So either push to talk or push to mute, depending on what you prefer.
Yeah, that's I kind of like the idea of that. Do you know what? I didn't even know that existed, and that's the bit that I you know, you find out so many cool things all the while by talking, and yeah, that's hopefully where it all goes. To get
big time.
So the big burning question is though, pineapple on pizza.
Oh no! No! This is like
this is the Fecktwit family question. Pineapple on pizza.
Feck, if you said that you like pineapple on pizza, I might have to disconnect this call now.
No. That is the way to go. Drex, #ban out of here. Pineapple. Pineapple does not go on pizza.
Oh, thank Lord. All right, okay, we're okay.
It needs to be banned. It should be a criminal offence.
Massive no.
It is kind of like it can't happen. It can't happen.
No. I don't even like pineapple anyway. Never mind on a pizza.
I can live with pineapple, but how can you put it on a pizza and roast it and grill it?
It's a random, like... you know what I'm saying?
It's sickening, man, isn't it? So anyway, what about a for Stallion anyway in the future? Obviously, you know, you're going to keep pushing, and we're all going to be massive supporters, man, because you are an absolute legend to the community, and you're a great guy personally, and I've had the honour of meeting you in person. But just generally, what's the next big thing you're waiting for?
It pretty much comes down to what we spoke about recently. In terms of stats, I know where I want to be. I know I want to be at. My let's say end goal. I don't have an end goal. I'm so self motivated. It'll never stop. Like for me, no matter whatever level I get to, I want the next thing.
Keep going.
And
keep
that's what drives me every day. But where I would like to be, somewhere probably like 20,000 followers on Twitter. I'd like to have 15,000 on Twitch. I'd like to hold an average of 200-300 viewers. I'd like to sustain myself at 1,000 subs. That's where I would like to get to. That's a very hard goal. There's not a lot of people that get to that level. I'm determined that I will get to that level, no matter how long it takes or how I have to do it. In terms of things in general, Discord partnership, we applied today. Fingers crossed, see what goes with that.
Cool.
My website for interactivity and just to showcase myself. I also do mentoring for streamers. I want to take that to the next level, so that's going to be something that's coming up. I'm trying to think what others there is. Merch. I already have my own community merch, but I want to release my own merch this year. So that's something again I'm looking at. Sponsors. I have a couple. I'm looking to branch myself and try and get big name behind me, but that won't happen for probably time still. And yeah, man. Again, it's pushing on all fronts. It's like I don't stop. Like I'm always like I'll sleep when I'm dead, sort of thing. Although I do find and love my sleep. I try to get at least 8 to 9 hours a night because it helps me function for the next day. But when I am up, it's like if I'm not at the gym or I'm not out with friends, this is life right here. So all day, every day, at it. Let's go. Let's smash some goddamn goals, you know. So
yeah, I think and game wise, what are you hyped at? What's the next game?
Splitgate, 9 days. Let's go.
Did you like it? Did you like it that much?
Oh, mate. Halo is my favourite ever franchise. Splitgate has nailed a very similar style of play. And obviously Halo isn't out on PC yet. I'm a very avid PC gamer. So I started streaming. So Splitgate is currently filling that arena void for me. The game gets released in 9 days. I actually applied for Splitgate partnership. Fingers crossed I get accepted for that as well. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Do you know what? Nice. We actually did a hype unit tournament for it, and it just brought out the competitive side for me all over again. It was beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched your stream when you were playing it a bit. I'm not massively into sci-fi shooters, but the gameplay on it looked pretty damn slick. It looked really, really good. It was pretty cool. So, but Halo, yeah, kind of like I'm kind of like looking forward to Halo. I'll be interested to see what it's like. Anthem was just an absolute, wasn't it?
Yeah, not my. That wasn't my cup of tea. I saw it. I was like, I'm not gonna even bother with this.
Yeah, and it was that broken as well when it actually did come out. To be fair, yeah, Borderlands 3, can't wait, man. Oh,
That'll be good.
oh,
Yeah,
that looks fucking amazing. That game just looks so cool. But yeah, other than that, that's it, dude. I appreciate it. It's been an absolute, it's been an honour to have you as my first podcast guest. We've got the amazing NSA Slim Shady next week, which will be cool.
Yeah, what a legend.
I love Slim.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I met him in OMC again, another one of those guys, and I've been reconnected to him sort of since joining SSC, and it was cool to meet him in real life down at I-64. So yeah, looking forward to doing it with him next week. So start of Twitch Sings now. Yeah, we do a duet if you want. Do Ice Baby.
Whoa! I hope you mean with Slim and not me, right? Because I cannot sing.
Neither can I. Can he what? Mrs. Fecktwit's like, can you sing?
No, I can dance. I can dance, and I can play the drums, but I definitely cannot sing.
Oh, we should get a we get a thingy band together.
I could play guitar.
We could do it. We could do a SSC band. I can play the triangle.
I can play the drums. Usually, I used to play in a heavy metal band back in the day, but again, I had to go to uni, so that kind of all went to pot.
Yeah,
definitely not singing. It's not my strong point.
We're working on it. We're trying to get his sub wheel to change to a twerk. One of them's got to be a twerk, so we are working on that one.
You was asking me to dance. Twerk, and I'm not twerking.
You need to go and cut some shapes before you go. You need to just the dance. You need to sit there rave music on it.
What dance? I did street dance as a hobby for 3 years at Sheffield Hallam, and I used to compete for Hallam against other unis. That was a lot of fun. I'm awful now. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. I used to learn we do this on stream. We used to learn things like how to wave and like pop lock and pop shapes and just do stuff like that. It's so much fun. Like party tricks and stuff you do on a night out and whatnot is wicked. Dancing's so much fun. I really, really miss it, but unfortunately I just don't have time to practice it anymore. But street dance is so much fun.
Yeah, we tried to get the little ones into it. I actually used to dance as well when I was when I left school. You guys probably won't remember it. This is really showing my age now. There was a program called Hitman and Her, and I was on Hitman and Her. I used to dance at Kudos nightclub in Watford. It's probably been demolished now. But yeah, I used to dance as well. I danced from when I was about 17 till I was about 20.
What style?
Just freestyle dance, really. Just whatever sort of went on the night. Because I used to dance on a podium about kind of like 4 foot by 4 foot. So you couldn't really like knock it out too much. But we used to have a few dance competitions on the dance floor. They used to clear the dance stage. It was good fun. I was never a great dancer, but it was
freestyle is the best. Like when it's not choreoed and you just do it. It's so good. Like I miss that so much. But
yeah, I'm too old now. My bones don't accept it.
You should show us a preview. There.
It's a nightmare. Yeah, but when you get to your late 20s, your bones seize up. That's why I can't do it anymore.
I'm already there, man. I'm getting not much in that category now. So.
Lock and drop it. Definitely, Ariel. So, dude, thank you so much. That is, it's been amazing, honestly. Yeah, you guys, you've been an inspiration for me personally, and I know you have been for others. What? Yeah, Mrs. Fecktwit's like, you got to come and stay at the Fecktwits. Everybody gets invited to the Fecktwits.
Where are you guys?
On the north side of Leeds.
Oh, you're not actually that far.
So no, not too far.
2.5 hours ish. For me.
Yeah, so we're up at. I'm trying to think. You probably won't notice. You wouldn't know that. It's like we're up Otley, the Otley Bar Crawl. You probably might.
I've never heard of Otley. Right.
So we're up near Otley. We're up near Otley on the north side of Leeds. But yeah, so next time we need to arrange a night though. We need to go for a beer and get.
Are you guys coming to Twitch London?
I'm coming. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll see you there.
But yeah, we need to get a bit of a Yorkshire clan going together and get Spenny that up for a beer, and we'll go out for a beer in Leeds because I'm up for it.
Leeds is a great night out. I remember the one time I went out in Leeds, I got wind up in a dance off in some random pub. And we ended up winning this massive bottle of champagne, and it was brilliant. That's the only thing I remember from that night, but it was, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Oh, way. We're just two daddies from Cookridge, which is like freaking hell, about like 5 mile away from me, 4.5 mile away. Two daddy fam. That's
Wow.
amazing, dude. That's amazing. So I've met so many people close to me by just networking the shit out of things, and it's so cool. Live stream the Otley Run, yeah, Geo, definitely, man. We should do that. We should do a live Otley Run stream. Get everybody up here, get Spenny and that a lot. Live Otley Run. Otley Run is a bar crawl in Otley from one end to the other, and it happens once. And it happens once a year. We should come and do a live.
Pass out, dude. Like, I'm such a lightweight. I love a good party, but my god, a couple of glasses or whatever, and I'm just like bang, gone. But it's great 'cause it's cheap. So.
You can bring Miss Stallion up. Mrs. Fecktwit will keep her.
There is no Mrs. Stallion, mate. I've been on my own since February.
No.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Oh, long story.
Oh, jeez.
Just know it's for the best. Funnily enough, actually, it happened on Valentine's Day, which is hilarious because it's the complete opposite of what's supposed to happen on Valentine's Day, right? So, yeah, no, living the single Stally life, and that's just how I like it. I'm too busy for anything else anyway. So,
right.
Yeah.
Quick shout out for Stally, he's single. Go for it.
My DMs are open. Open offers.
Picture with application.
You have to be able to dance and light raves and stuff.
Cool, right, dude. I'm gonna let you crack on with your night, and
Dude,
thank you so much, guys. If we can. If you've got any questions, feel free to DM me afterwards. We're going to hang about. We're going to play some more marbles and that for probably about another hour before we hit the bed as well. So, guys, thank you so much to the amazing Stally.
Pleasure, dude.
And
thank you so much.
I appreciate that, Emerald. Thanks for the comments, dude. Right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. You too. All the best.
Take care, buddy. See you later, guy.
Peace.
Bye, bye.